Welcome to our U.S. briefing show, folks. Today, we're diving into a heated debate where President Trump is calling out the media, like CNN and the New York Times, for questioning the success of a U.S. airstrike on Iran. Trump argues that such scrutiny is unpatriotic, but journalists stand firm, saying transparency is key, especially during wartime. It's a classic tug-of-war between government narratives and the need for accountability. Next up, let's talk about Chinese high-net-worth individuals. Fewer of them are planning to emigrate this year, thanks to China's booming tech scene and better business climate. Instead of leaving, many wealthy Chinese are choosing to stay within Asia, think Hong Kong, Japan, and nearby countries, where opportunities are growing. It's a smart move that reflects China's rising economic power and shifting global dynamics. And finally, the U.S. is sounding the alarm about China's rapid progress in space military technology. U.S. generals warned that China's satellite networks and anti-satellite weapons are advancing fast, posing serious threats to U.S. military assets. Space is becoming the new frontier of strategic competition, and the U.S. is keen to stay ahead in this high-stakes race. Please continue to watch for more details. CNN reports on the contentious relationship between the press and the Trump administration, highlighting the fundamental role of journalism in a democratic society, questioning authority, scrutinizing military operations, and uncovering truths that governments often seek to conceal. During the aftermath of U.S. airstrikes in Iran, President Trump accused CNN and the New York Times of disrespecting the military by reporting on early intelligence assessments that cast doubt on the success of the operation. Journalists like Jake Tapper emphasized that asking tough questions and seeking evidence is an act of patriotism, especially during wartime, as history demonstrates that transparency and accountability safeguard democracy and protect service members. Despite Trump's claims that questioning the military's performance is unpatriotic, CNN and the Times stood firm, defending their reporting and pointing out the administration's inconsistency, such as dismissing credible intelligence reports as fake news, while simultaneously confirming their authenticity. The ongoing tension underscores the vital importance of independent journalism in holding power to account, particularly when lives are at stake and official narratives may be manipulated for political gain. South China Morning Post details a shift in Chinese emigration trends, with the number of wealthy Chinese seeking to leave the country reaching a decade low this year. The report attributes this decline to China's improving business environment and burgeoning tech industries, which are offering high-net-worth individuals new reasons to stay. Cities like Shenzhen and Hangzhou are cultivating vibrant tech hubs, bolstered by rapid growth in private banking, healthcare, and entertainment sectors. The report also highlights a significant change in the motivations behind emigration, historically driven by children's education and international exposure. Wealthy Chinese now view overseas education as less certain due to tightening visa policies and geopolitical tensions in countries like the US, UK, Canada, and Australia. Families are increasingly pragmatic, considering factors like political stability and economic prospects, with some opting for nearby destinations such as Hong Kong and Japan. This evolving landscape reflects a broader reassessment of long-term benefits and risks associated with emigration amid global uncertainties. South China Morning Post further explores China's rapid advancements in space military technology, emphasizing concerns voiced by U.S. military officials about Beijing's strategic threats. USSF Commander General Stephen Whiting warns that China is breathtakingly fast in developing space-based targeting systems, anti-satellite weapons, and integrating space capabilities into its traditional military forces. China's deployment of over 510 satellites capable of intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance (ISR), along with the development of anti-satellite missiles and jamming technologies, positions it as a formidable competitor in space warfare. These advancements enable China to locate, track, and potentially strike U.S. military assets across the Indo-Pacific, challenging American dominance in space. The Chinese military's structural reforms, including establishing an independent military aerospace force, underscore the strategic importance Beijing places on space. The U.S. Space Force's recent observations of Chinese satellite maneuvers and the deployment of space-enabled military services highlight the escalating competition in this new frontier, where space is becoming a critical domain for national security and global power projection. South China Morning Post reports a heated Senate Judiciary Committee hearing where Democrats and Republicans clashed over alleged Chinese interference in the U.S. energy sector. Senator Ted Cruz accused the Chinese Communist Party of funneling money into environmental lawsuits against U.S. fossil fuel companies through organizations like the Energy Foundation China, which he claimed was a foreign policy tool disguised as philanthropy. Democrats swiftly countered, dismissing these conspiracy theories and emphasizing the importance of distinguishing between environmental litigation and genuine foreign influence. The hearing, set against the backdrop of a looming Senate vote on a tax bill penalizing U.S. companies with Chinese ties, revealed deep partisan divides, with Republicans supporting Cruz's narrative and Democrats warning against unfounded accusations that could undermine trust in U.S. environmental efforts and international cooperation. CNN highlights the strategic implications of recent U.S. military strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities, emphasizing their potential impact on North Korea's nuclear ambitions. While the U.S. targeted Iran's nuclear sites, experts warned that such actions may embolden North Korea, which already possesses a formidable nuclear arsenal and intercontinental ballistic missiles capable of reaching the U.S. Lim Yul-chul of Kyungnam University warns that Kim Jong-un's regime perceives U.S. strikes as threats to regime survival, likely accelerating North Korea's nuclear development and deepening military ties with Russia. The article underscores North Korea's extensive nuclear capabilities, its alliance with Russia, and its history of missile tests, contrasting its advanced program with Iran's still developing nuclear efforts. Analysts argue that the U.S.'s military actions might inadvertently reinforce North Korea's resolve to maintain and expand its nuclear arsenal, viewing nuclear weapons as the ultimate safeguard against U.S.-led regime change. Yahoo reports the death of Iowa Senator Rocky DeWitt from pancreatic cancer, reflecting on his dedicated public service and personal integrity. Elected in 2022, DeWitt served Iowa's Senate District 1, representing parts of Woodbury County, including Sioux City and Lawton. Governor Kim Reynolds and legislative leaders expressed deep condolences, highlighting his commitment to Second Amendment rights, fiscal conservatism, and his efforts to pass a constitutional amendment on income tax. DeWitt's colleagues remembered him as a principled and grounded legislator who fought tirelessly for his constituents despite battling cancer. His family emphasized that DeWitt viewed his elected positions as honors and responsibilities to serve Iowans, with his final remarks about the importance of the state constitution underscoring his dedication to individual freedoms and limited government. His legacy endures in Iowa politics as a symbol of steadfast public service and personal conviction. The South China Morning Post highlights the regional rivalry and economic implications of hosting high-profile international events like Formula One races. Thailand's government has invested a staggering $1.2 billion to host a race in Bangkok by 2028, a move that aims to boost tourism, elevate the country's global stature, and generate substantial economic benefits. Singapore's experience demonstrates how such events can catalyze economic activity through forums, summits, and international attention, positioning the city-state as a prominent global hub. Hong Kong, however, remains hesitant, clinging to the belief that it cannot compete or benefit similarly, overlooking the strategic value of active participation in these events. The article urges Hong Kong to reconsider its stance, viewing a Formula One race as a potential lever for economic growth and international prominence, challenging the notion that regional competition should be dismissed in favor of unique advantages. Instead, it advocates for strategic growth by engaging in global opportunities to reclaim Hong Kong's stature on the world stage. Meanwhile, the Telegraph Bay article tackles Hong Kong's land shortage crisis, revealing that the core issue lies in planning policies rather than a genuine scarcity of land. Despite the common narrative of limited land resources, reports show that restrictive land use policies and urban containment have artificially constrained development, leaving substantial undeveloped plots owned by private developers untouched. The city's land is divided into built-up areas, 25%, and protected country parks, 41%, with the latter limiting expansion. Reforming land use policies and prioritizing affordable housing could unlock the true potential of Hong Kong's land, addressing the root causes of the housing crisis. The article argues that the real challenge is not land scarcity but the outdated planning approach that prevents sustainable growth and affordable living, calling for a strategic overhaul to foster a more inclusive and dynamic urban future. The Yahoo U.S. piece recounts the alarming rise in threats and violence directed at U.S. politicians, exemplified by Florida Representative Kat Cammack's office evacuation after she received credible death threats linked to her stance on abortion. Cammack's experience underscores the dangerous climate for public officials amid heightened tensions over reproductive rights and misinformation. Threats against lawmakers, judges, and prosecutors have surged, reflecting a broader trend of political violence and intimidation that endangers democratic processes. This climate of hostility emphasizes the urgent need for increased security measures and a societal commitment to respectful discourse, as the nation grapples with the consequences of polarized debates and misinformation-driven hostility. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.